He arrived in a BMW with that golden watch shining on his wrist, ordered champagne at the bar, and took photos for Instagram in front of the Gucci store. You know what I thought? Darling, you're announcing to the world that you just got your paycheck and you're going to blow it all trying to look rich. I'm Duchess Dollars, and today I'll show you what the truly rich know. Items that seem luxurious but actually scream, "I'm trying to impress," from miles away. While you're trying to figure out how to pay the installments for that tacky bag, the truly rich are increasing their fortunes with investments you don't even know exist. The difference is in the mindset, darling. Have you ever wondered why no billionaire wears a t-shirt with a huge Gucci emblazoned across the chest? Why Mr. Millionaire never appears holding a champagne bottle in a nightclub with fireworks? For one simple reason. True wealth whispers. It doesn't shout. It's like that time I met the owner of one of the world's largest tech companies in a restaurant. He was wearing a basic t-shirt that cost more than my first apartment, but looked like it had been bought in a department store. And there he was, sitting discreetly in the corner, while at the next table an influencer was taking photos of a $50 plate pretending to be a big investor. Let's start with the logo parade. That bag covered with 55 or 1995 letters, repeated 1,000 times, is what we call in the rich world entry level. Or in plain English, this is what you buy when you just received your first bonus and want to show the neighborhood you've made it. The truly rich prefer discreet pieces, where what matters is the perfect cut and the quality of the material. The only person impressed with your giant Gucci belt is someone who still can't afford one. I'll tell you a secret. Billionaires wear Loro Piana, Brunello Cucinelli, and Hermes, but the pieces without logos. They love that $8,000 cashmere jacket that looks like a regular jacket to the uninformed. It's that if you know story, and you, darling, need to know. When I see a woman with a bag all printed with logos, I immediately know she's on the first step of the wealth ladder, if she's climbed any at all. It's like wearing a badge that says, "I'm trying to look rich." I have a friend, okay, not my friend, I saw it on TikTok, who spends her entire salary on bags with huge logos, but lives in a tiny apartment she can barely afford. Meanwhile, my billionaire neighbor carries an Italian leather bag with no visible brand that costs the price of a popular car. The difference? One is buying status, the other already has it. I remember when I went to the birthday party of a magnate's daughter in New York, the child's mother was wearing what looked like ordinary jeans and a basic white blouse. Except the jeans were the row, the blouse was handmade Italian silk, and the discreet watch on her wrist was a vintage Patek Philippe that could buy an entire mansion. Meanwhile, the photographer hired for the event was dressed in Fendi from head to toe, probably financed in 12 installments on her credit card. The contrast was almost comical. And speaking of cars, that giant chrome SUV with customized wheels and sound that makes the whole block shake? For the truly rich, this screams nouveau riche, louder than a siren. Billionaires are driving discreet luxury cars, or better yet, being driven in cars that look ordinary from the outside, but are lined with Italian leather inside. Remember when I saw Elon Musk last week? He didn't see me, but that's a detail. He was in a car you wouldn't look at twice on the street. Did you know that many of the ultra-rich have stealth wealth cars? They're Mercedes-Benz S-Class or Porsche Panamera in neutral colors. Nothing flashy. Or that Range Rover in the most basic color possible. Meanwhile, the rapper who just signed his first contract is buying a yellow Lamborghini with gold details and posting it on all social media. Which one do you think will still have money in 10 years? When Mr. Millionaire bought his first Bentley, the only person who knew was me. And look, I told everyone because I'm not the nouveau riche, darling. Oh, and social media, this is my favorite topic. The more photos of private jets, champagne, and hashtags blessed someone posts, the less money that person actually has. The truly rich are too busy creating empires, playing golf with other billionaires, or relaxing on private islands to be posting every move. When my husband, Mr. Millionaire, closes $1 million deal, you know what he does? He drinks an expensive whiskey at home and goes to bed early. No stories. Have you noticed how people who are genuinely rich for generations barely appear on social media? And when they do appear, they're in normal family photos, not posing in front of cars or with wads of cash. It's because they don't need to prove anything to anyone. There was an influencer who kept posting photos on private jets, until one day they discovered she was renting the jets by the hour just for the photos. Meanwhile, I know heirs to billion-dollar fortunes who fly first class on commercial flights because they think having your own jet is a waste of money. It's a completely different mindset. Let me tell you about a party I went to in the Hamptons last summer. There were really rich people there, owners of global companies, billionaire investors, heirs to century-old dynasties. Know how many photos they posted? 0. And the aspiring rich who were also there, they kept checking in, making stories, posts, as if they needed to prove to the world that they were in that social circle. Pathetic, isn't it? And let's talk about jewelry. That diamond-covered watch that seems to weigh a pound on your wrist? Those rings on every finger? The truly rich have at most 2 or 3 discreet pieces, but of impeccable quality. The watch may look simple to those who don't understand, but it costs more than an apartment. It's that story. Those who know, know. Those who don't, think it's just an old watch. Do you think the Queen of England walked around wearing a tiara? That most truly rich women wear those huge necklaces full of diamonds every day? Of course not. They have classic pieces from brands like Cartier, Van Cleef, and Arpels or Bulgari, but they're minimalist pieces that go with everything. That perfect solitaire diamond earring, a discreet platinum bracelet, a vintage Patek Philippe watch that looks simple to those who don't know. I went to a gala dinner last week and saw a hilarious situation. A socialite with a necklace so full of stones she could barely turn her neck, and next to her, the heiress to one of the country's largest fortunes wearing only a pair of pearl earrings that belonged to her great-grandmother. Guess which one everyone knew was really rich? That's right. Grandma's jewelry beats mall diamonds every time. Another thing that poor people think is the height of luxury. Vodka bottles with sparklers in nightclubs. This gives me chills. Paying 10 times the value of a bottle just to have people looking while it arrives at the table with fireworks? The truly rich are in private clubs where no one needs to prove anything to anyone, drinking rare wines without making a fuss. Let me tell you a secret. Do you know how much a bottle of Grey Goose costs at the supermarket? About $50. At the nightclub? $400 or more. And who pays this absurd amount? Usually someone trying to impress a woman or their Instagram friends. Meanwhile, my billionaire friend has a cellar with rare wines that he bought at exclusive auctions, but no one besides close friends knows about it. Speaking of drinks, Moët champagne? Please, that's what servants drink in rich people's houses. If you're showing off with Moët, you're basically announcing that you just discovered what champagne is. The truly rich drink champagnes from specific vintages that you've never seen in the supermarket and probably couldn't even pronounce the name. A true connoisseur doesn't flaunt bottles of Dom Pérignon in nightclubs. He has at home a Krug Clos du Mesnil or a Salon Le Mesnil specific vintage waiting for the right occasion to be opened. And you know what's funnier? The ultra-rich often prefer wines from small producers that haven't yet been discovered by the mass market. It's like having a secret that only insiders know. While you're spending your entire salary on a bottle at the nightclub, the truly rich are investing in entire wineries. And those vacations in Dubai with photos in front of the Burj Khalifa and the Burj Al Arab Hotel? It's more overdone than clothes on a washboard. The truly rich are in private villas on islands you wouldn't even know how to locate on a map without posting a single photo. When I come back from my vacations in Aspen or France, the only people who know are those who need to know. Did you know that the ultra-rich rarely go to fashionable destinations? They have properties in places like Lake Como in Italy, small islands in Greece, or chalets in the Swiss mountains. And when they travel, they don't stay in hotels, no matter how luxurious they may be. They have their own homes or rent entire properties through exclusive agencies that you can't even find on Google. I remember when Mr. Millionaire and I went to a super exclusive resort in the Maldives. I was young and foolish. When we got there, the place was full of influencers taking 500 photos a day and honeymooning couples who had saved all their lives to spend a week there. Nothing against it, but it wasn't the exclusivity we expected. The following year, we bought our own island. Problem solved. And no, you won't find photos of it on my Instagram. Only those who really matter know where it is. And those red-soled shoes? Oh, darling, Christian Louboutin is beautiful. I love mine. But just wearing them doesn't make you rich. The indebted middle class has them too. The truly rich have custom-made shoes by craftsmen who don't even accept new clients. You need to be referred. I'll tell you a secret. There's a whole world of luxury craftsmen who make custom shoes for the richest families in the world. You've never seen ads from them because they don't need to advertise. They have years-long waiting lists. Brands like Berluti, John Lobb, or Edward Green make shoes that start at $1,500, and can cost more than $10,000, depending on the material and customization. And most importantly, the truly rich don't buy Louboutin for the status or the red sole. They buy because the design is good, the shoe is comfortable, and it matches what they already have in their closet. It's not to post a photo showing the sole with the hashtag number sign blessed. The difference between a rich woman and one wanting to look rich is precisely this. One chooses pieces for their intrinsic value, the other for the external recognition she will receive. Chanel, darling? My dog is called Chanel, but I don't wear the brand that much. It's chic, of course, but that 2.55 bag with the giant logo doesn't impress anyone in the world of the rich. It's basic. It's what you buy when you get your first raise. Let's talk about houses. Mansions with Greek columns and gold everywhere? That's so, how to say it delicately, nouveau riche. The truly rich have houses with noble materials, clean design, and artwork that appreciates over time. That decoration that looks like a Mexican soap opera set only impresses those who have never entered the house of someone really rich. Remember when I went to the house of that couple who won the lottery? Everything gold, giant chandeliers, furniture that looked like thrones. It looked like it had been decorated by a teenager who just discovered their parents' credit card. Meanwhile, Mr. Millionaire's house has minimalist design pieces that cost the price of a car, but look simple to those who don't understand. The truth is that true wealth is subtle. It's a matter of quality, not ostentation. It's understanding the value of things, not just the price. The truly rich don't need to prove anything to anyone, and that's the biggest difference. Think about the world's largest fortunes. Do you think they're out there showing what they have? Of course not. They're busy doing what brought them there, working or investing the family money in the case of heirs. Ostentation is always inversely proportional to real wealth. The more someone needs to show they have money, the less money that person really has. It's like that time I went to a charity dinner and saw two women, one wearing a simple black dress with no jewelry, the other covered in diamonds, and with a dress that looked like it came out of a debutante ball. I later discovered that the first was the heir to one of the country's largest fortunes, and the second had just married a medium-sized businessman who needed to prove their status. Exactly. If you're spending money on things just to impress others, you're on the wrong track, darling. And if you're using a credit card to buy luxury items, you're committing the biggest financial sin possible. That's not being rich, it's pretending to be rich while sinking into debt. Nothing poorer than that. Want to know what the truly rich buy? Assets that generate more money. While the indebted middle class is buying bags with installment plans, the rich are buying real estate, stocks, and companies. The Chanel in 10 installments on the card won't give you dividends, darling. Of course, I love my designer bags and jewelry, but the difference is that I can buy them 3 times without affecting my bank account. If you can't, don't buy. Simple as that. Better a solid investment fund than a falsely chic bag. And speaking of investments, subscribe now to the channel, hit the bell, and leave your like if you want to learn more about how to be truly rich. Not just look rich. The algorithm loves it, and so do I. Every like you leave is like a small investment in your rich future. And unlike that too shiny watch you're thinking about buying, this investment will actually bring you returns. The secret of wealth is, truly rich people save much more than they spend. Sounds boring? Maybe. But it's much better to cry on a private jet on the way to Europe than to cry looking at the credit card installments at the end of the month. I'll tell you a true story. I know one of the richest families in the country, with a billion-dollar fortune. You know what they do for summer vacation? They go to the beach house they've had for generations. They don't post photos. They don't show off. The children wear clothes passed down from older cousins. The billionaire grandfather drives a car that's more than 10 years old. And you know why? Because they understand the true value of money. It's not to impress others, it's to ensure comfort, security, and freedom for several generations. Meanwhile, the indebted middle class is killing themselves to pay installments on luxury items they can't afford, just to impress people who don't even care about them. Sad, isn't it? It's like that Fight Club quote, "We buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't like." The truly rich are above all that. Remember, discreet rich, poor ostentation. Comment on this phrase if you liked the video. I left several links in the first pinned comment for truly rich products worth investing in. This is Duchess Dollars teaching you to be truly rich, because being rich is much better than just pretending to be.